I should have listened. I should have dropped it the second I saw the warning. But curiosity, it's like rot. You don't notice it until something inside you is already gone. It started on a Thursday afternoon. Grey sky, faint drizzle, that quiet tension before a storm. I was walking past Wicker and Wax, that crumbling little bookstore on Croswell Street. The kind of place that smells like mold and candle wax. The kind of place that shouldn't be open anymore, but always is. I wasn't looking for anything, just trying to kill time before my shift at the cafe. But the moment I stepped inside, something felt off. The bell didn't ring when I opened the door, even though I saw it sway above me. The lights were dimmer than I remembered, and the old man who usually ran the place, the one with the hearing aid and jittery hands, wasn't at the counter. No one was. It was just me and the rows of books and the silence, thick like syrup. I was halfway to the horror section when I saw it, a thin, unmarked book sticking out crooked on the shelf, old but not dusty, hand-bound, no title on the spine, just a piece of yellowed masking tape across the front cover. 3 words written in red ink that looked almost wet. Do not finish. I picked it up. It was cold, colder than it should have been. I told myself it was a prank, some edgy art student's project, but my hands wouldn't let go. The book felt heavier than it looked, not in weight, in presence, like it didn't want to be held, but it needed to be read. The first page had no title, no author, no date. Just a line written in the same red ink. If you finish this book, she will come for you. I laughed, out loud, nervous, dry, forced, and then from the back room of the store, a whisper, don't. I froze. I wasn't alone. I turned, expecting to see someone. No one was there, just the bookshelves. But they felt closer than before. I put the book back on the shelf. Or at least I thought I did. My hands trembled. I turned to leave, but the front door was gone in its place. A mirror. I took a step closer. My reflection looked wrong, slower than me, delayed and smiling. That's when I blacked out. When I woke up, I was outside, holding the book, and the tape on the front cover now read, "Too late." I wish that were the end of it, but that was only the beginning. I didn't go to work that day. Or maybe I did. I honestly can't remember. When I came to, I was on my couch at home, lights off, book in my lap, phone dead. A sticky note on my fridge said, "You called in sick, get better," in my handwriting. But I have no memory of writing it. The only thing I remember is the book, and the mirror, and that smile. I opened the book again. Page 1 had changed. No more warning in red ink. Now it said, Chapter 2, Missing Time. And below that, a single line that made my stomach twist. You slept too long. She's closer now. I threw the book across the room. It hit the wall with a loud thump, and I swear, it yelped. Like something alive had been hurt. I didn't sleep that night. At 3:12 a.m., the smoke detector chirped once. No fire, no smoke, just that single beep. Then silence. I unplugged it. It chirped again. Unplugged. No battery. Still chirped. I covered it with a towel and stuffed it in a drawer. At 3:37 a.m., my bathroom faucet turned on by itself. When I went to check it, the mirror was fogged up, like someone had taken a long, hot shower. I hadn't even flushed the toilet that night, and there, in the fog, were 3 words traced with a fingertip. Keep reading me. I ran. I left the apartment barefoot, drove to my sister's place across town. She let me in without asking too many questions. I must have looked like hell. Eyes wide, hair wild, shaking. I just need to sleep here, I said. She nodded. Bathroom's clean. Guest bed's made. Get some rest, I tried. But around 4:08 a.m., I heard something that wasn't the usual creaks or city noise. It was scratching. Not on the door, not on the windows. From inside the guest room closet, I held my breath. The scratching stopped. I counted to 10, slowly. Reached over and turned on the bedside lamp. And that's when I saw it, the book, sitting on the dresser. Even though I'd left it at my apartment, its cover had changed again. Chapter 3, She Knows. You're hiding. I didn't touch it. I left my sister's apartment the next morning before she woke up. Drove straight to the library. I needed answers. If it was some viral stunt, someone online would have posted about it. If it was a rare book, maybe there was a record of it. I searched the library catalog for hours. No title, no author, no matches. Finally, I asked the librarian, an older woman with gray hair pulled tight into a bun. I showed her a photo I took of the book cover. She froze, her eyes locked on mine. "Where did you get this?" she asked. "Why?" I replied. She didn't answer me. Instead, she picked up the phone on her desk, dialed a number by heart. "He has one," she whispered, and then she hung up. "Leave," she said, "and burn it." I started to speak, but she raised a finger, trembling but firm. "Burn it. Before she finishes you." The librarian disappears. Time skips accelerate. The narrator begins to lose chunks of their memory, and someone with her face is seen watching from the edge of mirrors, windows, and puddles. I didn't burn it. I told myself I would. I even poured lighter fluid into a metal trash can behind my building, book in hand, lighter ready. But something stopped me. The moment the flame touched the corner, the pages hissed. Not burned, hissed like flesh, like it was alive and in pain, and then I heard it. My name, whispered in a voice not my own, right behind me. "Emily." I dropped the lighter, stumbled back. The book was untouched. Not a single page was scorched. I didn't go back for it. I ran upstairs, locked every door, shut every curtain. I even unplugged my TV and covered all the mirrors with towels. I didn't want to see her again, but I should have known. It doesn't matter where you go once she's marked you. The book always finds its way back. That night I heard scratching again. Not in the closet this time, not on the floorboards under the bed. I didn't look, I couldn't. Instead, I lay there frozen in place, barely breathing. Minutes passed, hours, or maybe it was seconds. Time didn't feel real anymore, and then a voice right by my ear, not whispered this time. Soft, yes, but clear, purposeful. "Why did you stop reading?" I screamed. I flipped the bedside lamp on. Nothing, just the empty room. But on the nightstand, the book, opened to a new chapter, Chapter 4, Replacements. The next morning I went back to the library. The older librarian was gone, vanished. No one had seen her. Her desk sat untouched, phone still off the hook, computer still logged in, just gone. I asked the front desk. They told me, "There's no older librarian here." Only me. I showed them her name badge, the one she'd dropped when she spoke to me. They stared at it like it was dust. "That's not one of ours," they said. Something cracked inside me. I left. Fast. I didn't know where else to go, so I went back to Wicker and Wax, the bookstore where it all began. It was boarded up. No open sign. No soft glow from inside. Just planks nailed across the door and faded police tape tangled in the wind. A man walking by saw me staring and said, "That place? It's been closed for years. Fire gutted it. No one goes near it, but I was just there. Days ago." He gave me a strange look. "Are you feeling okay?" I didn't answer, because in the reflection of the shop window, I saw someone standing behind me. But when I turned, there was no one. And yet, on the inside of the boarded-up door, barely visible through a crack, a message scratched into the wood, backwards, like meant to be read in a mirror. "Finish the book, Emily." Emily starts forgetting her own memories. People recognize her as someone else. She finds pictures of herself in places she's never been. And her reflection starts doing things she doesn't. I wish I could explain what it feels like to lose pieces of yourself while you're still inside your body. To forget how your own laugh sounds. To look in the mirror and not recognize the person. Blinking back, it started small. First, it was just little things. I'd walk into a room and forget why. I'd reread texts I had no memory of sending. Friends would reference conversations I swear we never had. Then came the photos. I was scrolling through an old album on my phone when I saw something that made my heart stop. A picture of me, at a park I didn't recognize, sitting on a bench beside a man I'd never met. I was smiling, relaxed. The timestamp said it was from 3 days ago. I zoomed in. My hands in the photo were holding a book. The book, and the creepiest part, the me in the photo had a faint red mark on her neck. A thin, almost imperceptible line, like a cut that had just healed. I ran to the mirror. No mark. Yet, That night, I got a phone call. No caller ID, just a blank screen, I answered. Anyway, stupid, a woman's voice, breathless, almost mechanical. Stop. Pretending you're the only one. Then the line went dead. I checked the call log and nothing. No record of it. The next day I called my mom. I needed something real, something grounding. Hey, I said, I just needed to hear your voice. She paused. I already talked to you this morning, honey. Don't you remember? No. We didn't, I just woke up. Long silence. Then, Emily, are you messing with me? You told me you were flying out to Colorado today. That you were bringing someone. What? Mom, I've been here all week. I haven't left the state. Another pause. Then, Emily, your number called me. I heard you. You said, don't wait up. You were laughing. I dropped the phone. I didn't laugh today. I hadn't laughed in weeks. Then came the worst part. That night I caught my reflection moving differently again. At first I thought it was a trick of the light. A delay. Lag. But then it blinked before I did. Tilted its head when mine was still. And then it grinned. Not my smile. Hers. And her lips mouthed 3 words I'll never forget. Almost. Finished. Emily begins to see the red-marked version of herself outside the mirrors, across the street, reflected in puddles, watching from dark corners. Meanwhile, her own memories dissolve, and people start calling her by a different name. I stopped trusting mirrors. I stopped trusting time. But it wasn't enough, because she started showing up where mirrors didn't exist. It was raining the first time I saw her, the other me, outside of glass. I was sitting in my car, engine off, staring at nothing. The windshield wipers moved slow, like they were unsure whether to help or not. Across the street, under a bus stop, stood a figure. Hair like mine, jacket like mine, posture like mine, but I knew it wasn't me. She was dripping wet, yet bone still. She stared at me through the rain like she knew I'd notice. And when the bus came and blocked my view, I prayed she'd be gone when it passed. She wasn't, she was closer. I blinked. Gone. I don't remember driving home that night. I just remember waking up in bed, with mud on my feet and the book next to me, open. Chapter 6. Switch. The text below it was smeared like it had been soaked, but I could still read the first line. There is no single you. I didn't sleep again for days. Everywhere I went, I saw versions of myself, glimpses in puddles, shadows in windows, flashes in glass doors. All almost me, not quite, like someone copying from memory and getting the details just slightly wrong, and then people started acting strange. At the corner store, the cashier smiled like she knew me. Hey, back again so soon? I haven't been here in a week, she frowned. You were here yesterday. You bought batteries, paid in cash. At the coffee shop, the barista handed me a drink before I ordered. Your usual, she said, grinning. I don't come here, I said. Her grin faded. She looked uncertain. But you... I walked out before she finished. I started recording myself sleeping, just to prove to myself that I wasn't changing, or leaving, or being replaced. The first 2 nights, nothing strange. Just tossing, turning. But the third night, the video cut out for exactly 13 minutes and 12 seconds. When it resumed, I was sitting up, staring into the camera, expression blank. Eyes too wide, head tilted slightly left, just like she does. And then, on the video, I said something in a voice that wasn't quite mine. Stop resisting. There's more than one way to finish a book. I watched it 5 times. Then I smashed the camera. The next morning, I woke up with a fresh red line on my neck and a new chapter in the book, Chapter 7. The page turns itself. Emily tries to destroy the book again, but something inside her resists. The story begins writing itself. People she loves don't recognize her anymore. Her apartment becomes unfamiliar. The cycle accelerates. I tried again to destroy it. I wrapped the book in duct tape, put it inside a metal lockbox, dropped that inside an old suitcase. Then I drove 2 hours out to a landfill, found a restricted dump zone, and buried the whole thing under broken TVs and soaked insulation. I felt free. Lighter. For a moment. But when I got home, it was waiting on my kitchen table. Open, Next page turned. Chapter 7. The world remembers her, not you, I screamed, slammed the book shut. But the house didn't echo like it used to. My voice felt thin, flat, as if the air itself had changed density. My fridge magnets, the silly travel ones, were different. No longer places I'd been. Cities I'd never visited. Utriel, Greymouth, Devonport. Not real places. I opened my cabinets. The cups and plates were wrong. Too many. Not mine. Even the smell of my apartment had changed. It no longer smelled like me. It smelled like her. I opened my phone. Tried calling my best friend, Leah. She didn't pick up, so I texted me, "Hey, are you okay? I think something's happening to me." Her, "Who is this?" My stomach dropped. I called again. This time she answered, "Leah, it's me. Emily, please, I need help." Silence. Then her voice, careful and slow. "I don't know an Emily." Click. I dropped the phone. It cracked on the kitchen tile. The lights flickered. Then everything went dark, but only for a moment. When they came back, I wasn't alone. Across the room, seated in the chair by the window, was me and her red line across her throat. Eyes too wide, skin too pale. She smiled without teeth and slowly lifted a hand, not to wave, not to threaten, to point directly at the book. I blinked, and she was gone. The chair empty, the air thick and electric, like just after a lightning strike. I approached the book. The next page had filled itself in. Chapter 8. The ending reads, Emily tries to write her way out, but the story continues with or without her. She uncovers that this isn't the first time the book has been finished, and no one remembers those who did. I stopped leaving the apartment, not because I was afraid of what was outside. I was afraid of what would follow me back in. I tried writing things down, my thoughts, my memories, names of people I knew, anything to hold on to who I was. I kept a notebook by my side at all times, but every morning, the pages were blank again, or worse, rewritten. Lines I never wrote in handwriting too perfect to be mine. She looks better in your skin. You were never the original. Tell the story right, or she'll do it for you. I flipped the book open one last time, not because I wanted to, but because I knew it was happening whether I did or not. Chapter 8. You've been read, except I hadn't turned the page yet. The page had already turned. It was writing itself, letter by letter. Words crawled into existence as if carved from the paper by an invisible hand. And the worst part, it was describing me. Not in the past tense, not even in the present, in the second person. You sit alone reading this, trying to remember who you are. You forget your face first. Then your voice, then your name. She wears them better. She carries them forward, and you fade, ink drying on the last page. I slammed the book shut and ran to the mirror. Ripped the towel down. My face stared back, but not as I remembered. Too smooth, too still, too finished. I touched the glass. She touched back. One heartbeat late, and then she winked. That night, I tried recording myself again. One last attempt. I set the camera, hit record, sat down, just waited. After 2 hours, I stopped the recording and hit play. At first, everything was normal, until I got up. I watched myself walk off screen, but I never came back. For the next 3 hours, the video showed an empty chair. Then, at the 4-hour mark, she returned, sat down, stared into the lens, and spoke. "Thank you for finishing it." The camera shut off by itself, and when I looked at the footage again, it was gone, replaced by a single static image, a page, the final one, with only one line written in that same wet red ink. You are no longer the reader. The narrator confronts the truth. She was never the first, and won't be the last. The book resets for its next victim. The story becomes a cycle, and you, the listener, may have already started reading too far. There's nothing left to hold on to now. The apartment is hollow. The walls feel too smooth, like they've forgotten they used to be mine. My bed no longer creaks. My floor doesn't echo. My shadow doesn't follow me anymore. I sleep, but I don't dream. I eat, but I don't taste. I speak, but the sound doesn't quite match what I remember. And still, the book sits on the table, always open, always waiting. I tried calling the police. They arrived, 2 officers I didn't recognize, but who greeted me like they'd been here before. They walked in, looked around. One of them picked up the book. He opened it. His face fell. His partner leaned over to look, and then they both stared at me, not angry, not confused, just sad. The first officer whispered, "She's almost done with this one." The second just nodded. "Time to go," I backed away. "Go where?" They didn't answer. Instead, they walked out, and behind them the door didn't close. It vanished. Just a blank wall. I turned back to the table. The book had turned another page, and now it was blank, but not empty, because I knew it was my turn to write, not with a pen. Not with my hands, with my existence, every step I took, every breath, every choice. The book was recording me, and the more it wrote, the less I felt like myself. Until this morning, when I looked in the mirror and saw no reflection at all, only the book held in my hands, open to the final line, written in the same red ink, pulsing like a vein. And now, you're the one telling the story, so here I am, speaking into the dark, telling you everything, because you need to know. You're next. That's how it works. You've heard the story now. You've read too far. You've pictured her in your mind. Maybe you've even wondered what the book looked like. Where to find it? If it's real, it doesn't matter. She's already in your memory, and all it takes is one more word, one more curiosity, one more thought. That's how she finds you, because this wasn't just a confession, it was a page, and now you're the one turning it, if you're still here. If you're still listening, then maybe you've seen something you can't explain. Maybe you've felt her watching you from behind the screen. Tell us in the comments if anything strange has happened to you after hearing this. And whatever you do, don't finish the book. Subscribe to Crazy Real Horror Stories for more chilling confessions like this before she turns the next page on you.